The warning they never told you. There's something they don't tell you about prayer, not in church, not in sermons, not even in the books you've been reading your whole life. Because if you knew this, you would never pray the same way again. And more importantly, the enemy would lose his grip on you instantly. Because there is a type of woman, a praying woman, that even hell is afraid of. And today, you're about to discover her 5 secret weapons. But be careful. Because the third weapon, most Christians completely ignore it. And it's the reason their prayers never get answered. The woman hell recognizes. There are millions of people praying every day, but only a few are recognized in the spiritual realm. Remember in the Bible when demons said, "Jesus, I know, Paul, I know, but who are you?" That wasn't just a story. That was a revelation. Not every prayer carries authority, but when a woman understands her spiritual weapons, her voice becomes dangerous. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why. Why most prayers fail. Let's be honest. You've prayed before, and nothing happened. You cried, you begged, you fasted, and still silence. But what if I told you? It's not because God didn't hear you, it's because you are missing a weapon, and the enemy knows exactly which one. The secret war you can't see right now. There is a war happening, not physical, not visible, but spiritual. Every time you pray, something moves, but sometimes something blocks it. And unless you know how to break through, your prayers stay stuck. The first weapon. This is where everything changes. The first weapon is not what you think. It's not loud prayer. It's not long prayer. It's something far more powerful, and almost no one talks about it. Weapon number 1, position, not emotion. Most people pray with emotion, but powerful women in the Bible prayed from position. They knew who they were, not beggars, not victims, but daughters of God. And that changes everything. Because when you pray from identity, heaven listens differently. The shift that terrifies hell, the moment you stop begging and start declaring, something shifts. You stop asking like a stranger and start speaking like family. And the enemy, he hates this. Why the enemy wants you confused if you don't know who you are. You'll pray powerless prayers. That's why confusion is one of Satan's favorite weapons. Because a confused believer is a silent threat. The woman who knew her position. Think about Esther. She didn't just pray, she understood her position. And because of that, she changed an entire nation. But position alone isn't enough, because there's a second weapon that activates heaven instantly. And without it, even strong prayers fall flat. Weapon number 2, persistence that breaks resistance. Jesus told a story about a woman who refused to stop. She kept knocking, kept asking, kept showing up until something broke. That's not coincidence. That's strategy. Why most people quit too soon. Most people pray once, maybe twice, and then give up. But breakthrough doesn't happen at the first knock. It happens when resistance gives in. The power of again, again and again and again. That's how walls fall. That's how chains break. What the enemy hopes you do. He doesn't need to stop your first prayer. He just needs you to stop the second, the turning point. The moment you decide, I will not stop praying, you become dangerous. But here's the problem. Persistence alone still isn't enough, because there's a hidden barrier, and this is where most believers lose the battle. Weapon number 3, purity of heart, the most ignored. This is the one no one wants to hear, because it's uncomfortable, but it's powerful. Unforgiveness, hidden sin, bitterness, these block prayers. The silent prayer killer. You can pray for hours, but if your heart is closed, heaven stays silent. The dangerous truth. God hears everything, but he responds to alignment. Why this weapon changes everything the moment your heart aligns. Your prayers accelerate. The woman who let go. There was a woman who forgave when it hurt, and suddenly her life changed, not slowly, instantly, but there's still something missing, because even with purity, there's a deeper level, and this is where things get intense. Weapon number 4, authority in the name. Not just prayer, but authority, speaking in the name given to you. And when you understand this, you stop hoping and start commanding. Why demons respond to this? Because it's not your power, it's His. The shift from asking to declaring, God, please help me, becomes, this ends today. The moment fear breaks, authority destroys fear, because you realize you're not alone. The hidden reality: most people never step into authority, and that's exactly how the enemy wants it. But now, we come to the final weapon, and this one is different. Weapon number 5, silent warfare. Not every prayer is loud. Some are whispered, some are felt, some are fought in silence. The power of stillness. When everything is quiet, that's when the deepest battles happen. Why this terrifies the enemy? Because silence means focus, and focused faith is unstoppable. The woman who fought in silence, Hannah, didn't scream, she didn't perform, she prayed deeply, and heaven answered. The final connection. Now connect all 5: position, persistence, purity, authority, silence. That's not just prayer, that's warfare. Why this changes everything? You're not weak, you've just been unarmed. The moment of realization, everything you've been waiting for, might be one prayer away, the warning. But now that you know this, you can't go back. The shift begins from today. Your prayers will feel different. The invitation: try it tonight and watch what happens, because something will shift and you won't expect it. And when it does, you'll realize this wasn't just a video, this was a wake-up call. If this message spoke to you, don't ignore it, because the next video reveals the one prayer mistake that silently blocks your breakthrough and almost nobody sees it.